Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Britain again. So today we're honored to have with us Javed Laher, a true pioneer in the world of artificial intelligence, AI. Long before AI became a global buzzword, Javed was already identifying its potential and the challenges it would bring. A visionary strategist and digital transformation expert, mashallah, Javed advises top companies and leaders worldwide, helping them navigate the complex landscape of emerging technologies with insight and ethics. He's passionate about using AI not just to innovate, but to create meaningful human-centered progress, ensuring technology serves humanity, not the other way around. Please join me in welcoming Javed Laher on the show. Salaam alaikum, Javed.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
You are very, very welcome. We are very honored and pleased to have you here. And I heard that you came all along from Dubai.
Yeah, slightly further than London.
Mashallah, mashallah. How is it there? How's the weather there, first of all?
Alhamdulillah. It's over 40 degrees right now.
Wow, that's hot.
Very hot, but it's manageable. It's weird. London seems hotter at 22, maybe because of humidity.
Right.
But Dubai is actually a nice temperature. I like it.
Okay. So you're coping with the weather now?
I think it's in my genes.
Right.
It's my tropical genes. I've adapted.
Mashallah, that's very good. Okay, Javed, so AI. It's taken the world by storm.
Yeah.
And some of us are optimistic, some of us are not very optimistic. First of all, please give us like a definition of this artificial intelligence. What should we know as like an introduction to this technology?
Sure. I'll keep it simple. But artificial intelligence, I'd see it as an intelligent machine. So previously, we might have used a calculator, which gives us answers. There was nothing more to it, 10 times 10, 20 times 20, whatever. But artificial intelligence, how I'd see it, is a system which learns, adapts, takes the best of all, and then is able to provide you a cohesive response in the sense that it's something like that's never been here before in terms of technology actually imitating humans and using a sample of data from across the globe, maybe, in some examples, to provide a response to any question you might have.
Okay, and that means that this technology has access to millions and billions of bits of information across the world from all the data centers, all the computers, and then making calculations to give you the best response. Is that what it is?
Absolutely. So if we think about us as individuals, right, we've got a mobile phone, we've got an email account, we might be registered to various sites, for example. And with that, it has information on all of us. And if you think about the biggest companies in the world, you've got Google, Microsoft, Amazon. So if you look at those three already, you've got data on buying habits, you've got data on search habits. Right. And over time, what's happened is search engines have also learned and got better at providing responses. And then they look at, who's clicking which answer more. And they've already know what resonates and what the actual answer people are looking for. So imagine that multiplied by all the countries that these companies are present in, bringing it all together and then saying, okay, we know what this person's actually asking for based on the 50 million times it's been asked before. So we can now present it with confidence and say, this is the answer.
Right. So do you mean that our behavior on the internet is all recorded or calculated, and all of those cookies that we struggle to deny, and all of that is recording the way we interact with the online?
So there's recording and then there's sort of masked recording.
Right.
So if you look at cookies, for example, if you look at GDPR, which is almost data protection, every country's got, or every region's got their sort of equivalent of protecting data. So it might not necessarily know our names. So it might not know that this is Javed Laher, for example, but it will know that there's a male in a certain age bracket who lives in a certain area who likes cars, as an example. And how it's been used to date is, let's say there's BMW or Mercedes or a holiday company, whatever it might be. They will then use that data to target their ads to their ideal demographic. So for example, if it was a handbag, well, I'm not going to buy a handbag, right? So they're not going to target me with that. But if it's a trip to Dubai or a flight to Dubai, I would fit into that category based on their target audiences. So, there's many examples of what that looks like, but essentially what they do is create databases of people, behaviors, and segment them. And what we find is, I know humans think that we're all very sort of individual and have our individual thoughts, but we can actually be bucketed into interest groups.
Wow.
And then from a data analysis perspective, you start looking at it and going, actually, we're not all that as different as we think we are. We all have similar habits.
Interesting. How to be up to date with AI?
Great question. And if I look at myself, I've got a background in technology. I spent 10 years at Microsoft, spent time at Amazon. I've been with computers from a very, very young age, just through practicing and having fun with a computer at home. For anyone who's not in this industry, I can only imagine it must be quite daunting. And that is completely understandable. But the best thing about AI, it's the most simple form of computing. And how I'd see it is that clever friend or that clever cousin or whatever it might be. You know that person you'd call up and say, hey, I need your advice. Does this sound okay? Or should I send this email?
Give the advice now.
Exactly. Except this is, this can actually impersonate, for example, a doctor, a lawyer. So if you ask it and say, look, draft me a letter as a solicitor for a neighborhood dispute, for example. Someone's broken my fence. How do I draft a letter to my neighbor? How do I draft a letter to my council? Do it based on UK law. And you can really start being specific with what you ask it. And it will give you, within seconds, a draft of that email. Then you can also limit it and say, well, actually, only make it 1 page. Only make it 1,000 words. And then when you start understanding the capabilities of it, you really start seeing how you can use it to your advantage. To your question, how should people feel and how should they think about it? I'd see it as, look at it in a fun way. Just see it as something that, this is going to make my life easier. Just see it as something that people just need to work out how to use it in the best way, but to have the confidence in most instances, and I'll come on to why I say most instances, that actually this platform can make life a lot easier, get answers a lot quicker, and also be able to act in so many different personas, as I said, doctor, lawyer, police officer, whatever it might be, and really provide information to that person, which might have required going to the library before.
True. There's the other thing, the AI agent. Well, what is that for people who don't have a great idea about it?
Yeah, AI agents are almost like avatars. So essentially, those who were into computer games, you'd get these avatars that talk to you, give it a name.
Okay.
So let's say Javed.avatar, right?
Right.
So my avatar will be Vev, and I can teach my avatar to respond to certain questions. So let's say I become an AI avatar who specialise in AI and someone wants to ask me questions about what AI is, how should we use it, how can I use it as a doctor, how can I use it as a nurse. So my avatar can be programmed for that. And avatars essentially can have different uses. You've got, in the world today, some people are actually being called by avatars and they don't even know. Oh. So calls are being made which sound very human, where let's say, do you want to buy double glazing windows, as an example. Right. Previously, that'd be someone going through a list of areas and saying, OK, we'll start with the Ilford area or Kensington area, whatever. But now, these AI avatars can identify people to call. It sounds completely human, and the person on the other end won't even know. And also, when you're chatting to chatbots, that's probably the most
common use of the AI agents.
Exactly. That's an AI agent which is asking questions, which is looking for keywords. Before it passes you to a human, it can answer most questions now, and it's getting more and more advanced. So it's already out there. It's already being used in some guise or form.
Okay, I just remembered something interesting. I wanted to share it with you, and you tell me what you think. So I went to this event a couple of months before, and he was a guy, he came from the US, and he was trying to teach people about AI and the importance of AI, and he had like a kind of project. So one of the things he said that his future plan is actually to upload his consciousness to the cloud, to the AI, to an AI agent, and instead of talking to him, directly, you will be talking to basically an avatar. Basically, as you said, he will teach an AI agent to be him and to respond to the question to people, and that agent will act as if it's him. Is that possible? Because I feel it's a little bit of fiction there, but he was saying it with a complete conviction.
Absolutely. And this might surprise you.
Wow.
But I'm actually doing the same. And,
wow.
And
okay.
I'll give you the context. So I had a schools programme running in partnership with the London Mayor's Office. And that was to inspire children from London and sort of certain backgrounds. And the idea is to keep children out of gangs and trouble. And we were invited to school talks. And, school talks could be anywhere. But there were so many requests for school talks. I thought, well, actually, to reach every school, it's going to take months, if not years, and we want to make an impact sooner. So it's still being developed, but essentially this AI will understand my experience. So it'll know that I work for Microsoft, it knows I work for Amazon, it'll know that I've done an MBA, it knows my full profile, it'll know that I've got articles in the public domain and how I think and how I talk and how I respond to questions. So that will be trained to respond to all these students when it comes to careers advice. So advice I get is, how do I get into computing? How do I prepare for interviews? You know, how do I stay out of trouble? All these sorts of questions that my avatar will be built to respond to people. That way I can scale it across the country or any English-speaking country. And then what I can also do is get it to speak in different languages. If I want to launch it in China, I can have it responding in Mandarin. So I can't speak Mandarin. It's a bit complicated.
Wow.
But
we'll have Javed speak it in Mandarin.
Exactly. And it will look just like me, right? It'll sound just like me. It will understand my movements. So these cameras will film how I talk. So right now, if I'm using my hands, it'll know, well, actually, Javed uses hands a lot when he's talking, for example. My avatar will pick that up. My avatar will understand how I pronounce certain words, how I move my head, all of these things. So it feels like it's me, but it'll be my avatar. So I agree with this person, and yeah, I'm working on the same thing.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, is it very highly technically complicated to achieve something like that, or people can learn that?
They can learn that. So I'll share a platform. Normally I don't share platforms, but I'll just as an example so people can have a play. There's one called Hey Gen, Gen.
Okay.
And essentially on there you've got different templates of people, and you can type in whatever you want and they'll repeat it for you. So if you've got a business which is, you know, any business, let's say a restaurant, and you want to do an advert of someone talking about your restaurant, you can choose an avatar of many different backgrounds, many different accents. And you can already use an existing avatar, which is not a real person, but it looks like a real person, whether you want formal wear or informal wear, whatever that is. People can already use that, and it's easy because where technology has already evolved to, there are companies and platforms which have produced solutions where you don't need to be technical at all. You just need to know what you want from a vision perspective in your mind. Technology can do the rest. So it takes away all that heavy lifting. I'm not a coder. I'm not a technical guy. I'm a tech enthusiast. And I leverage the technology to do the hard work for me. So that's why I'm a fan of it for those sorts of things.
Wow, that's amazing. How you personally imagine the future with the AI, with this AI agents and all of that? How are we going to see our future?
It's a very interesting question. There are some films out there which sort of envision what it might look like. I think Ready Player One is one of those films. And if anyone's seen it or hasn't seen it, I'd recommend watching that. It's where we're heading. But essentially, it is going to be a very sort of AI-first world. It's going to be very behind the screen. I mean, if you're walking down the street already today, there are people on their phones. They're glued to them. And it's just socially, it's a social norm. People within homes, children on their iPads, parents on their phones, you know, constant contact. And what we'll find is that people actually live through their phones or their devices. And they're also almost going into this sort of alternate reality where you've got augmented reality, mixed reality, where you can be in a different dimension, where you put these goggles on and then you're on a roller coaster. Or there's some great examples where you're traveling different countries. So for example, if someone's got mobility issues and they want to see what the Amazon rainforest looks like, you can stick these goggles on and get a real feel for it through sound and vision. So in terms of where things are going, I think how people do business, how they interact, who they're interacting with will be less human, more agents, more automated, and also the room for error will be a lot less because as technology evolves, where humans might have made errors, and I'll give you an example. Let's look at factories, right? So I've got family in a park called Yorkshire. In Yorkshire, there was a factory biscuit, or is a factory biscuit called Fox's Biscuits, great biscuits. But normally there'd be people who are employed to pack the packaging, right? Then there'll be someone else to look at the quality checks. Is that biscuit broken? Is it full? Now you've got conveyor belts and robot arms which do all that for the person. Now you've also got cameras which can, from an AI perspective, can understand what's broken and what's higher quality. And based on that, it can decide what a perfect tray would look like. Therefore, it takes away the human need. Who, you know, someone's turned away for a minute and they've missed the biscuit. Again, it's one example of many examples that can be used. But the idea being, it becomes more efficient, more cost-effective, and these robots can work round the clock. Obviously, there's a human impact on that, which is, and this is the bit where It's a bit controversial, but it's where it's heading, where jobs will be displaced. There will be industries which are displaced because of technology and because of robots. Right. And they will introduce something called universal basic income. Some may call it universal credit. It's been trialled for years. When I did my dissertation for my MBA in 2019, I wrote about this, and I was telling organizations that you need to prepare for this thing because it's going to take out your workforce if you don't slow it down and if you don't put legislation in place. Obviously, they're like, what is this guy talking about? It's not happened. Now it's happened. Now they call me and say, please come and explain to us what you told us 6 years ago.
Well, you saw the future kind of, Javed, in 2019, when the AI was not very well known to the public like this today, right?
That's right. And alhamdulillah, I've been featured in Forbes for that. So in Forbes, I've got
Amazing.
Articles, and the article actually focuses on using AI as a tool, because there's a saying that it's not everyone will be replaced by technology. It's those who perhaps haven't adopted the technology. And that's where I'd really emphasize to listeners to say, it's a technology that's not going to go away. It's going to get stronger, it's going to get faster. And those who are curious about it should really get involved. Those who don't know about it should really get to understand it. And that's why I'm in the space I'm in, to help educate people, to help make them aware, but also do it in a simple manner. You know, we are not concentrating on the tech-savvy people who already know, who already use it. That's not our audience. Ours are those who don't know about it, who want a simple approach as to how to use AI and how to enhance their lives, whether it's how to find a job, how to move country. I get approached all the time. How do I move to Dubai? And I show them how to use AI to find, jobs, how to recreate their CVs, all these sorts of practical skills which can benefit their lives.
I would like to hear more, Javed, about how you would help people, let's say people who don't know about tech very much, let alone the AI. How would you start with them to explain to them the importance of AI, first of all, and the use of it, and all the useful stuff that they can get out from it?
Yeah, so we do workshops. Previously, we just speak to businesses and schools and organizations, but now we've opened it up to professionals and individuals who want to learn more. So they can join like an online session. But I'll take you through how we approach it. Before we even get to the technology, we speak about mindset. And the mindset bit is the most important. And there's two types of mindsets, as they say, right? There's the open mindset, which is open to learn, understand, and try new things. And there's a closed and fixed mindset, which perhaps doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to know. It's a thing that they don't want to know about and brush it under the carpet. The future, but there's no space for closed mindsets for the future.
Right.
And that's just me being completely honest. So that's where we first start talking to people. Say, firstly, you need to see this as a friend. See this as your clever friend. And then we use examples, like give us an example of something you might want to achieve. And some people say, look, I want to create a business selling sweets. I say, okay, let's show you an example how we can use it in your specific case. Then we'll say, look, let's make AI help us create a business plan, distribution plan. Who are the wholesalers? How much should we sell for? What's the competition in the local area? All these sorts of things. And within 5 minutes, someone can have a ready plan to go and create this business. And then it's for them to take the action. So it's everything from the basics of AI. We explain it in a way, again, in the sense of really understanding what that person wants. So I don't see as AI driving us.
Right.
We're in the driving seat of AI.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
It's great, for those who use ChatGPT on a daily basis, like myself, or Copilot, or any other tool of AI. We go there, we ask our questions. Now, do we have, or can we trust AI 100%? Do we trust what all the information and all of that business plan or any response that AI can give us? Or should we have someone to monitor that response? How can we be sure 100% that what we have between our hands is accurate, is correct, and that we're going to use it without any concerns in the future? Great
question. So one of the principles of AI and chatbots, any chatbot you might use, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or Google Veo, for example, it really depends on the data that's input. So there's a theory called garbage in, garbage out. IBM Watson is one of the most advanced systems for this, where they really filter the data sources they use, where they get the data from. Therefore, the output is purely quality. It's sort of academic research. It's government websites, actual knowledgeable places which have a stamp of approval. But similarly, when we're doing these things, when we're asking questions, I, for example, asked questions and say, give me Harvard-style referencing. So for anyone who's done a degree or otherwise will know that Harvard-style referencing will require some sort of quote and source as to where this knowledge has come from.
Right.
And then we can almost validate it ourselves. So that's where I think it's up to us to then look at it and say, does this make sense? Is that feasible? Are these links genuine? I, to be honest, would say it really comes down to how the question is being asked by the person. So
the prompt.
It's the prompt.
The prompt.
So the prompt engineering is a big area.
It is. I heard about that role, and it was like, is that interesting that you need an engineer for the prompts? Tell us more about that, please.
Absolutely. So it's almost learning the language in a way the computer understands. So see it as a magic lamp. This is my best example I give.
Yeah.
Imagine it's Aladdin's lamp, but you want to ask it something to create something, but it's up to you what you ask it for.
Okay.
So the prompt engineering simply means the ability to ask the best questions. And that means understanding how it works in the back end. So again, not to make people think, oh, this is where it's getting technical, not at all. It's simply write me a business plan, do some referencing and provide me sources from government websites and business advice bureaus, present it in a way which is UK legal, show me any tax considerations which is based on HMRC data on their website, and give it to me on 2 pages so I can understand it simply.
Okay, very accurate question.
Exactly. Rather than give me a business plan for my sweet stall.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Interesting. So it's down to the person, to the user, and that who has to have that knowledge on how to prompt, how to give the prompt to the AI. So if people want to get help from you, Javed, and to join you in your workshop, how can they do that? Where to go? Yeah,
sure. So I'd say to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram. So it's Javed Laher, Javed Laher. And I'll happy to speak to people and get them onto our future workshops. Our website is futuretrain.ai, and on there they can register as well and see what we're about and see what we've done. But yeah, our passion, this is a passion area for me. My background is actually in digital marketing, where I used to work with the biggest brands in the country or globe to match advertisers to their product, and that's what I've been doing for a number of years. This is a passion where I actually want to help people, not for them to fear this technology, and that's why we're offering this as well.
Very, very quickly. So I see that you kind of jumped to the AI, from marketing to AI. What was the reason for that? Very quickly. Curious mind.
I always think ahead in the sense of, if this continues, what will the impact be on society, politics, people, and society as a whole, essentially, and what can I do to help them? So that's why I was sharing what I was sharing years before.
Amazing. I would say curious mind is a key to knowledge and to everything positive. Well, Javed, that was a wonderful conversation. I learned a lot from you today. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. And all the best with your business and everything. And thank you for sharing your valuable insights and helping us understand how AI is shaping our world today and what we can do to stay ahead. It's clear that staying informed and adapting to these changes is more important than ever. To our viewers, remember, AI isn't just the future, it's happening right now. The more we learn and prepare, the better equipped we'll be to embrace the opportunities ahead. Stay curious, have a curious mind, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next segment, inshallah.